It's the Joe Padula Show, Clarksville's conversation.
Absolutely.
Almost 30 years of service, 20 of them with the Special Forces. And now he's running for City Council Ward 12 against 5 other candidates. Ladies and gentlemen, our first guest of the day, give it up for Joe Shakeenab. What's up, Joe?
Well, I'm honored to be here, Joe, and it's always good to see you and sit in great company with some great discussions going on.
Yeah.
I commend you for your job and for your service and all that you do for the community.
Well, as you know, and I appreciate that, and you didn't have to lie about that one intern Shane being good company, but...
No, he's great company, and you're going to learn how to call him Master Shane.
Oh, my God.
He's going to demand that of
I'll
you.
be so mad.
I should just get a crown with,
Oh,
with a cane
no.
and just...
Yes.
Hopefully a muzzle comes with that crown. But yeah, Joe, here it is. We got an election coming up, November, okay?
Yes.
November 3rd. Not only just federal, and I got to stress this, okay? Federal election's very important. State election very important. But most important, the most effective election for you personally is your local elections.
Yes.
And you got to get out there and vote. And you got to vote informed. And that's why I love bringing in the candidates here. And all 6 of you from Ward 12.
Yes.
Man. Well, before we get into why you're running, a little bit about you, Joe. Where are you from originally?
Well, I was actually born in the Mississippi Delta in the city of Mound Bayou, Mississippi. That's where I actually went to school.
Is that where all those Clearwater Revival songs come from?
No, it's actually this is where the fertile soil, with all the cotton and things like that.
Ah.
It's about an hour and a half south of Memphis, Tunica and places like that.
Did you grow up
But I grew
poor?
up
Grow
there.
up rich?
No, nowhere. Well, we were poor in physical substance, but we were rich in discipline because we had to work for everything. You know, and nature was a common thing for us, right? So in the summertime, you tend to live off the land a little bit. You had the nuts, you had the wildlife, you had a lot of things like that. So in regular substance, yeah, you were poor, but you adopted and you made it happen, right?
That's what's up.
And those type of skills actually stayed with me. Early on, when I was in school, I was in the Boy Scouts, Cub Scouts, and then the Boy Scouts. In my senior year in high school, I was actually assistant scoutmaster.
That's not bad.
Yeah, so
I did the Boy Scouts. I liked it. I did the I was even a Weeblo, which I don't even know what that means.
Right.
What does that even mean?
That means you're on your way.
Okay, on your way, Weeblo.
On your way.
I love it.
Yes.
Now, you must have. I mean, here it is. 29 years of service in the military. 28.
28, yes.
So you must have joined early in life.
17. Yes. 2 weeks after high school, I was in.
Did you have to get the parents' signature?
Well, but I forged my mother's signature.
Did you really?
Because of course she was against me
Joe.
going in, But how do you, find something besides what's right there, right? You take advantage of an opportunity, so you can actually get in a better place, so you can reach back and you can do something more effectively when you reach back.
Do you feel your
So
other
that's always been
candidates,
my
other
mindset.
candidates are going to use that against you one day?
Well, I really don't look at what other people are doing.
Right.
I've never been that type. When I first came in the service, I was in the Ranger Battalion. Right?
Okay.
And everything was about, what are you doing, Ranger?
So you
what are
signed up
doing?
right from the start to be gung-ho?
Yes. Well, because I looked at it as, I get promoted quicker, I get more money, which means I can help my family.
Right, okay.
Yeah. So that's why I said it was always about reaching back, right? It wasn't about me.
Tracking.
Yeah. Take advantage of something that's there so you can help someone else that doesn't have it.
I love it. All right, now while you're in the service, okay, what are some of the deployments that really stood out for you?
Actually, when I was in the Ranger Battalion, in 1985, we actually went to Somalia. We
85.
actually jumped in. Yeah, we actually jumped into Somalia in 1985.
And this was prior to what
Yes,
happened there in
yes,
Mogadishu and the
yes.
whole bit, but 80.
So 1993 was my second tour there. I had actually already been there before.
So you went back.
I went back. So I got a chance to see it before the Civil War. Then I got a chance to see it during the Civil War, during the famine and things like that.
What was the difference?
Well, of course, the young guys like your age, your Bill, the guys were very strong. They were very healthy. A lot of the older people were very weak. A lot of the little kids were very weak, right? And then it was very compartmentalized. So some places you saw a lot of suffering. In other places, it was pretty much stable because the militias had control, or those warlords in those particular areas, those clan leaders had control.
What was your guys' mission back in 85?
Well, in 85, just joint training exercise.
Okay.
Yeah, we parachuted in and we trained with the Somali army. So do some rifle ranges, some maneuvers and things like that, because they had infantry guys over there as well.
And then in
But then in
93,
93,
much different mission, right?
It was more to go and see the movement of the refugees. Where are these people that are fleeing? Where are they going? Right? Which way are they crossing the borders? And then how many are out there? Right? How many casualties? So a lot of area assessment. Sometimes we'll load our Humvees up and just put a lot of fuel, a lot of water, and we'll go out. And then 3 or 4 days later, the aircraft come in. They bring more fuel, more water, more rations, and we just ride around the entire country, just getting a pulse on actually what's going on in the country.
What was the people's reaction to you and the guys?
In the city, and especially like in Mogadishu, that was always a hot spot because you had two actually warring factions in one city. But most of the other outlying areas, you only had one faction, so it wasn't that bad. But when you have two factions in one city, well, of course, one wants to be the dominant one, right?
Right.
And plus, then you got to pick and choose which one you're going to support. So you had a lot of that there. But in the outskirts of the city, it was fine. A lot of people, the only thing we really had to worry about was the road mines.
Yeah.
We had a lot of mines out there on the roads. But other than that, you show up, the people, they just come around you. They want water. They want food.
Now, when it all went down over there in Somalia in '93, what was the sentiment like from the other Rangers and all the other units that were down there?
I actually left 2 weeks before Black Hawk Down. And so I was actually on the airfield talking to a lot of the guys that were in the Ranger Battalion, because again, I had served with some of those guys previously when I was in the battalion. So I knew some of them. Actually, I knew a lot of them. I knew some of the casualties and things like that. So that part was a very heartfelt part, because you knew guys, right? And you knew the situation. You'd been there a long time. And if you could do anything to try to prevent it, because it was just brewing.
Yeah.
And we watched it actually brew, right? I mean, early on our mission that we requested APCs. So
APCs?
APCs, the Army Personnel Carriers.
Gotcha.
Humvees.
Right.
But again, you see guys bringing a lot of the weapons in just a matter of time before you're going to become a target, because you got too much stuff going on in one confined area.
Did you watch the movie? What'd you think?
Yeah, I watched it.
Some say it's one of the best Army movies, and others say it was a terrible depiction.
Well, I just look at it as when things went bad, right, from the planning part.
Yeah.
You plan for a daylight mission, and you don't have all your NVGs and things like that. You don't have a good rescue operation on standby that's well rehearsed, that's well clued in. So when you start looking at when you look at it from the planning aspect, you start seeing a lot of things that could have been better, right? And then as a military person, you look at your guys and you say, how can we do things better?
Right.
How can we plan better? Right? How can we communicate and get the basic stuff right? So even if you're going on a daytime mission, well, you don't know about that aircraft. You don't know about any situation. So you still got to plan as if you're going to be there all night.
Understood.
Right. So little things, and then the communication plan. Right.
Yeah.
So even my team was ambushed while we were in Somalia, and I was the senior communication guy. Special Forces A team, senior communications guy. But I was actually working a diplomatic mission up in the north with the ambassador out of Djibouti. So I wasn't actually with my team.
Wow.
But I had to make sure that if something happened, all they had to do is turn that radio on, and they was going to be able to get medevac.
Communication, so important.
And we work that every day.
Absolutely.
Whatever you do, whatever situation you're in, you got one chance, and it better work that first chance.
Makes sense to me.
So it's been. You look at the training, right? All of your training all the time, and I tell people, no matter what, under circumstances, you don't forget your training.
No way. You go into that muscle memory.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Don't forget your training.
Right.
Right. So even in this environment, even in the radio environment,
right,
sometimes your training kicks in.
Oh, you ain't kidding. I press that mute button like it's natural now.
Yes, it kicks in, right?
Right, especially when Bay starts on a cursing rant. Beep, beep. Yes. Fast forward a little less than a decade, 9/11.
Yes.
All right. Where were you? And
I was actually at an Air Loads Planners course at Fort Bragg. Again, I was still in 5th Special Forces. I've been there since 1990. And that's when I first came there. So I was actually in an Air Loads Planners course there. And we were in the classroom, and we actually watched the first plane. And we thought, of course, it was an accident.
Right.
So we're sitting there, and the instructors, everything just stopped. And we watched, like, man, what is really going on? And then we watched the second one come in and hit.
Right.
And right then we knew, man, this is bad, and we got to figure out how to get back to our base.
Did you guys know, it was going to be against Al Qaeda and a future Afghanistan invasion?
We just knew it was bad, and we knew that course was pretty much over.
Yeah.
And we was going to be coming back, to our home stations and getting ready to deploy.
Right.
So like 2 days later, I think I was already back here at Fort Campbell. And back in my team room, and we was already spinning up. No one has to tell you to get ready.
Right.
When you see something like that,
yeah.
Again, your training kicks in, right?
Especially the Special Forces guys.
Yes, okay, it's time to go, right? Even if you never get the call, but your reaction is going to be, it's time to go. So you automatically get your team gear, you start your training, you start spinning, you start your isolation, you start all of your preparation, especially get those young guys on board, because you're always getting young guys to your team, right?
Now, what about your family at home at this point?
Well, you don't, in a way, you look at it as they pretty much know it's time to go.
Yeah.
Because you deploy all the time.
Military families understand that.
Especially in the Special Forces, you deploy all the time, right? So they're kind of used to you getting ready to go. So the same thing, they know. Well, it's time for you to go.
Yeah. Right. Understood. And then, all right, so fast forward a little bit, 2010.
I retired in
like,
2010.
I'm done. Yeah.
And
did they kick you out,
actually,
or?
Actually, I want to tell you a story, right?
Okay.
So in 2008,
I
was actually at Fort Bragg attending some type of conference or something.
I'm sorry to hear that, Fort Bragg.
Yeah, and one of the lead pilots for the Golden Knights, he was retiring, and he had 27 years in.
Golden Knights, the gentleman that jump out of the parachute.
Yes,
right.
Yes. So he had 27 years in. So after his ceremony and during his little reception, I asked him, I said, hey, Chief, I said, I'm a Special Forces warrant officer, because he's a warrant officer. I said, I'd love to ask you a question. He said, what do you have? I said, why did you retire with 27 years in? Why didn't you go to 28 or to 30 on the even number? Right?
Yes, right.
He says, one thing I learned in this role that I'm in. He said, I'm the lead pilot for the Golden Knights. I'm a warrant officer, and I'm flying a fixed-wing aircraft. Warrant officers fly helicopters, right?
Right.
So he's flying a fixed wing. He said, no matter where these guys jump, he lands. He said, and right now in his career, his time is up, but he would never be that marketable again. Right? So marketability.
Yeah.
Right?
Leave on top.
Yeah. He said, so right now he's on top.
Michael Jordan.
He would never have to apply for a job. He said, everybody knows it.
Right.
And I always remember that. So in the Special Forces, I was the program director for the foreign language program.
Okay.
The 5th group, so training all the guys in foreign languages. And so I was just.
How many foreign languages? There's got to be so many.
Well, no. For the 5th group, we had 3.
Okay.
We had 3 foreign languages, but you have a lot of guys, right? So certain percentages learn certain languages. But of course, every Special Forces unit is oriented towards a certain region of the world.
I was trained in Pashtun.
Were you? Okay.
Yeah.
So I had Arabic.
Chutor Asti. I had to go walking around to southern Afghanistan. Hey, how you doing? Chutor Asti. How you doing?
So
they didn't like that.
So as the program director, I won the Special Operations Command Language Program of the Year 3 years in a row. 3 consecutive years for the Special Operations Command, right, for SOCOM. So at that last meeting there, well, not meeting, but conference, at the last conference, when I got the award from the 4-star, and I said my speech, and I said, of course, I thank all the guys in the 5th Special Forces group, blah, 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 blah. But I knew then, because I had a flashback. Of that conversation. Well, I won this 3 years in a row.
Yeah.
Right? I would never be this marketable again. Right? So I told the guys in the audience, and it was about 400 people, and you have a lot of civilian companies, right, foreign language companies, attending these particular things. So I told them, I said, well, I think this is my time to retire. This is my time for my next phase.
Man.
Yes.
And did you know your next phase would be about 10 years later, running for City Council Ward 12?
I had no aspiration. A lot of people have always said, man, you need to run for office because you're always doing something. You're very strong. You're very passionate about helping people in the community. You're a great listener. So all these attributes.
Well,
right?
you've been so busy since you got out. I mean, so many different things, so many different programs. Okay, the CW3 Retired Scott Schroeder Scholarship. All right, Leadership Clarksville. The Montgomery County Veterans Coalition. Is so many things.
Yes.
Now, why politics?
Well, I don't look at it as politics, though.
Okay.
When people say, oh, you want to be a politician? I said, no, I don't want to be a politician, right? I want to do something to listen to people, right? To work on their behalf, listen to their concerns, and see, can I fix some of the problems? I know I can't fix all of them, right? Because if it was that easy, they'd already be fixed. Mm-hmm. But I want to listen to them, hear their concerns, and fix some of their problems.
What are some of the issues?
That's all I want to do.
Because Ward 12, very busy area,
Yes.
a huge growing area. I mean, we're talking about the I-24
Right.
exit 1, 4, 8 area.
Yes.
Not just that area, but if you're a city councilman, you're going to be voting on Clarksville citywide issues.
Yes.
What are some issues that you see here in the city of Clarksville that do need to be addressed and brought up?
Well, some of the things that people have already been addressing with me is safety, right? And I put safety as the #1 category.
Safety.
Just like training, right?
Okay.
Safety first, right?
Safety first.
Safety. So where we have some safety issues at, right? So if neighborhoods are saying, well, they're at risk because they don't have lights, they don't feel safe, people are in the neighborhoods at night, driving, and and stopping their cars, and people are walking, but there are no lights in the neighborhoods.
That's the first time I heard that topic brought up by anyone running.
Yes, that's a safety concern for me, right?
Interesting.
Right. So,
and it sounds like an easy fix.
Yes, and I look at the utility poles and I'm saying, okay, they have these things spaced out. You know, some of them have lights on them, but they don't work, or some, you know, there are no lights.
Right.
So I'm thinking, okay, well, and I asked him, well, have you talked to the street department? He says, yes, we talked to somebody, but you know, we always talk to somebody, and we never get anything fixed. So I record all these different things, right? Every time I go to a neighborhood and I hear something, I get back in my truck and I write it down. I write the street address, and then I write down that concern.
Right.
And I go to all of them. So I'm making this list of what are some of the common themes in that category, in the safety category, right? So speed bumps.
Speed bumps.
People that are on long streets in neighborhoods, man, people come through there and they're going 40 and 50 miles an hour.
They're flying.
Yes, even though the speed limit says 20 or 25.
You're damn right it does.
Right?
Right.
So how do you first figure out who do you need to address that with, and then what type of measures can actually happen?
I say speed bumps. Speed bumps with spikes.
But it's not that easy though.
Damn.
Right? Because even with the speed bump, now in the wintertime when you have ice and you have snow.
That's right.
What about the snow plows trying to fix that?
Oh, that's a good point.
Right? So it's not as easy as just saying, well,
you know what? I never thought of that. Those damn plows, we need them.
Yes.
Bring that salt. Right.
Yes.
Because some people here don't know how to drive in it. Right.
Yes. And not only that, then you look at emergency vehicles, right?
Okay.
You know, same thing.
Right. So, if an ambulance has got to get in and out.
Yes.
Damn.
So a lot of you look at it, you know, from one side, but then you have to also look at it from the other side. So then when you have that discussion, you says, okay, now what can we do? Knowing both sides of this, what can we do to rectify this particular issue for
I got the answer. Remote control speed bumps.
Mercy.
Oh, I love it.
But
right?
then that means the taxes may have to go up for something
You're
like that.
damn right they will for remote control.
So now you got another issue, right?
I'll tell you
who
what.
wants to do that?
For the light situation, I can help you out. I got, and real cheap, I could sell it to the city. I got strobe lights, okay? We'll make all the street lights strobe lights.
Well, that's going to blind somebody.
Fantastic.
Are they going to be IR? Are they going to be infrared or just straight strobe?
It's going to be green, red, and purple, and sometimes there's a little snowflake logo. Right, that's fantastic. Oh,
mercy!
Man. I love it, Joe. What? Any other topics that you think need to be brought to the forefront if elected to city council?
Well, and like I said, for me, it's all about really how do you communicate with all these people in that particular ward? Because you talk about a lot of people. Right?
That's right.
You can't
and
even
growing.
You can't even do it while you're campaigning.
Right.
So then, once you get in office, now you got another focus. You actually have to do something, but you still have to connect with the people. Right. So I'm already looking at, well, you know, some neighborhoods have associations. How do I already start talking to those associations to actually get on their calendars to say, you know what? Well, if I win this thing, but I don't want to wait until I win. I want to have a meeting with you now, right? To start syncing that battle rhythm, right?
Right. Battle rhythm.
Your training kicks in, right?
Absolutely.
Start syncing the battle rhythm. You start getting now a system in place. So when you win, you don't wait until January to start trying to figure out a system. It's already in place. Right? Now all you have to do is execute.
Right.
Right.
Right. And then you're already ready.
Yes.
Prepared.
Yes.
The Boy Scout coming back out.
Yes.
Right. I see where it all comes together.
Yes.
Unbelievable. Well, I'll tell you what. We got the links to Joe's Facebook page. Okay. Definitely check it out. If you got any questions for him, send them a message. I mean, the guy knows how to speak. The guy knows how to talk, and obviously he knows how to listen, and that's his goal.
Yes. But one thing I do want to mention.
Yes. What's that, Joe?
And you mentioned the Scott Schroeder scholarship.
That's right.
You know, and Austin P is always near and dear to my heart. So anytime I have a platform to say something,
yes,
of course I'm going to say something about Austin P.
Please do it.
Right? I'm the president for the National Alumni Association, and I'm the president for the Military Alumni Chapter. So the Military Alumni Chapter, we actually have 4 scholarship endowments, you know, and that's for those military affiliated students. So our goal as a chapter is to build endowments to make sure every student that's military affiliated can actually achieve their academic dream, right? Or make sure they're successful along the academic journey.
What makes them qualified?
Well, so for the Scott Schroeder Scholarship, and that one we're still building. Right, we're still building that. And people can go to our Facebook page for the Austin P Military Alumni Chapter.
Okay.
They can get the information to donate to that scholarship.
Good.
Right, because we have to fulfill that scholarship. And then we also have the Military Alumni Chapter Scholarship in itself, and then we have the Command Sergeant Major Sidney Brown Scholarship. Those are fully endowed already. So students actually already go to school and get scholarships from those actual endowments. So that already happens. They just put in for it through Austin P. They're already students. And even some of them that plan on going to Austin P., when they put in for scholarships, they can request that scholarship. So we look at all of that and we consider it. We consider, the GPA is the number one thing. They don't have to write any papers or anything like that. But academic, the GPA, and then what are they planning on doing with that education?
Gotta have some brains. Gotta have a plan.
Yes.
Understood.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And I'll tell you. I mean, here it is. Even out of service, still serving the service.
Yes. Well, like you, that's near and dear to your heart.
Absolutely.
Right? You can't just cover that. You can't just close that book.
No way.
Right?
I don't want to.
And if it closes,
right,
it's probably going to open back up on its own.
I hope so.
Probably.
Unless I'll just get an audio book. All right.
Yes.
Then I'll just press pause.
But even then, it's going to be like a cadence.
Yeah.
See 130 rolling down the strip, right?
I miss some good cadences. Oh my God, man! I hear the choppers hovering. Unbelievable. But
It's good stuff.
Joe, I appreciate you, and I wish you the best of luck. And one last question: 6 people running for one ward. Is that a hindrance or is that a help for you?
Well, I say it's a help for everyone that's running.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that means everyone got a pretty good chance.
Right.
All you have to do is just keep grinding. Just don't stop.
That's a good point.
And I'll tell any of the other candidates, just don't stop grinding.
Right.
Yes.
That's what's up.
Because someone has to do it, right?
Yeah, somebody.
Yeah, somebody has to do it.
And we'll find out November 3rd.
And if you put your name in there, you're ready to grind.
That's right. That's right. And hey, if you don't, you got a problem because this guy's grinding pretty hard. Right. Bump and grind. That should be your campaign slogan. Right.
No bumping. No bumping. Just grinding.
My bad.
No.
Sorry. My bad.
Master Shin's listening to it.
Oh, I love it. Master Shin. I just had a murmur. But definitely go check out Joe Shakeenab, okay? City Council Ward 12 Facebook page. The link is right in this video and this audio feed. So, yeah, go check it out and see what he brings to the table.
Yes.
Thank you, Joe.
Thank you.
It's good to see you again. It's been too long.
Likewise. Always great to see you.
And hey, for some of your fundraising for some of the military events, let me know, all right?
Yes.
I'll donate to DJ services.
Sounds good.
The best DJ in town.
Mercy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sounds good.
Yeah, forget about it. All right. Let's see the free gig I'm trying to get. But that's networking because somebody's going to be there, okay? So I'm acting like I'm a hero now, donating my stuff. But in reality, I know I'm going to get like 4 gigs out of it. All right? Just being honest.
Honest is the best. That's the best way to be. One way, right?
I'll do it anyway if I don't get nothing. I love it. All right. Well, coming up next, yes. Did you watch the NFL this weekend? If no, you're not alone. Did you see these numbers? They plummeted. I'm going to tell you why. Well, I think you already do. We already know why. Plus, also, there was riots in Lancaster, Pennsylvania last night. And it was all because of the shooting from a police officer to a man running out of his house with a machete. Have you seen the body camera footage? Should the riots even be happening? We'll talk about it all. That's all coming up next. So much more on The Joe Padula Show. Absolutely.
It's The Joe Padula Show, Clarksville's conversation.